What is it about the new year that speaks to us on a spiritual level? We have collectively decided to shed the weight of our daily lives and enter the next year with a renewed purpose. All of this compounded by an excessive amount of alcohol and an arbitrary date. December 31st to January 1st. Is there some cosmic force acting upon these dates, changing their place in our calendar's hierarchy? Today, most of the world is following the Gregorian calendar, which was created by Pope Gregory XIII. Now, Greg here developed the calendar to correct the shoddily constructed Julian calendar made by Julius Caesar. They needed to add leap years to keep the calendar on track. Also, shout out to my 23-year-old friend Ryan, who gets to turn 6 this February. The Gregorian calendar itself was a correction to the Roman calendar made by, you guessed it, Romulus. The more you study history, it becomes exceedingly clear that almost everything can be traced back to those damn Romans. There are a couple of problems with trying to upkeep a worldwide calendar. Firstly, being the absolutely insane math and science needed to conceptualize sun movements over a year-long period. And we are not talking about a computer program. This data was collected and understood by people living in the ancient world. The Newgrange site in Ireland's Boyne Valley is around 5,200 years old. That is quite a bit older than the pyramids in Egypt. The chambers in this ancient temple are precisely structured so that the rising sun will illuminate the inner sanctum on the winter solstice, and the whole monument was constructed by Stone Age farmers. Speaking of the winter solstice, in many ways it acts as a New Year celebration for pagans around the world. The winter solstice marks the day of the year with the least amount of sunlight and the longest night. Since this is a universal experience and thus varies based on geographical location, different cultures celebrate this event on different days. For the Celts at Newgrange, the winter solstice marked the renewed cycle of the sun. It may have been the darkest day of the year, but it was also the beginning of the reverse. From the winter solstice until midsummer, the days get gradually longer. Rome itself celebrated a New Year's tradition on January 1st. Accompanying this month came a god named Janus. This two-faced deity presided over the future and the past. He was the gateway of the present. He symbolized the new year and its metamorphosis. Romans would exchange well wishes and gifts to each other on this day to bring a positive new year. It is not a coincidence that the Julian calendar placed so much importance on a date following the winter solstice. Like the Celts at Newgrange, the Romans felt something powerful emanating from this event. For a long time, differences between cultures were tolerated, to some degree. Colonies within the Roman Empire could practice their own cultural traditions as long as they respected the imperial cult. During the age of Christianity's growth and eventual takeover within the Roman Empire, the term pagan arose, with a severely negative connotation. The word pagan essentially means non-Christian, and quickly this catch-all term for other cultures became filled with enough vitriol to warrant the Christian church trying to stomp out their traditions. The winter solstice became the birth of Jesus. The celebrations of Janus became the feast of circumcision. No, really, the Christian church replaced a pagan holiday with a holiday commemorating the circumcision of Jesus. During this time, an official beginning of the year was lost. Different empires and denominations of Christianity chose different times of the year to call the beginning. Pagan holidays began to fall into obscurity. The practices were outlawed, the holidays were stolen, and the believers were hunted. Through sheer cultural strength, pagan traditions remained relevant and popular, even under the thumb of the Christian church. Dates like Christmas and Easter were used to secretly celebrate pagan traditions. Much of what we believe are Christmas traditions are actually winter solstice traditions that have survived for thousands of years against all odds, even becoming an integral part of Christian practice. Eventually, Pope Gregory was able to get people on board with his calendar, marking the 1st of January as the beginning of the year. And as time went on, Christianity lost its power to dictate the lives of individuals outside of the church, and pagan practices have seen a revival in modern day. So, what is it that makes the new year feel special to us? In my opinion, it has nothing to do with the date chosen by my main man, Greg. I believe that the cycle of the sun is an integral part to our spirit. I believe that Stone Age Celtic farmers were onto something. I believe that the winter solstice marks the end and the beginning. But hey, That's my beliefs, and I wouldn't stand before you and proclaim that they are the only good ones. I would just like to see everyone form their own beliefs and traditions and try to bring a little bit more joy into this world while they are at it.